Okay, good to see everybody. Let's come to a comfortable seat on our chairs. You can go ahead and scoot forward a little bit so you can really find those sit bones. Peek down, make sure that your knees are over your ankles. And I'm gonna, if you have extra blocks with you and you want to work with a block between your feet today, you are welcome to do that. I'm actually gonna turn it the narrower way. And then I'm also gonna I have a second block. I'm going to just take that between my thighs. So just giving my feet and my thighs a little something, a little feedback. The final layer you could add here if you wanted, if you have a strap, you could actually strap that around your legs too. So not only are you getting the sensation of squeezing in on the block, but then you can also press out a little bit into the strap. So certainly not necessary. I find from time to time, it's interesting, kind of just changes things a little bit, kind of reminds me of, just how active sitting can be. And you might find that it actually helps you feel as though you're sitting a little taller. So as you root down into your feet, as you root into your sit bones, maybe it feels like you're getting more length through the sides of your waist. And hello, Tammy. Welcome to Springtime Yoga. Let's give the shoulders a little roll out here. Let's roll forward. Good, and then back again a few times. Allowing the shoulders to roll back and down. You can take your hands on top of your thighs. Maybe just gently, slightly tuck your chin. Your eyelids close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. Smooth, deep, full inhale. And open your mouth. Let the breath go. Ha. Good. One more time like that. And then your lips seal here. And you start to inhale through your nose. And then also exhale through your nose. Bring your attention to that sound of your breath, and you might be doing that ujjayi breath. So it's kind of a little more heated breath. You're constricting the sides of your throat. It sounds like ocean waves rolling in and out, or it's that sound that you get in the back of your throat when you're fogging a mirror. Some days that just feels like too much. So you can also just keep your inhale and your exhale nice and easy. That you are paying attention to your breath. You're letting your breath become your soundtrack here. And you're letting that sound of your breath kind of calm your brain. Maybe you're starting to notice a sense of calm sweeping over you. Maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe it's been a particularly active day or stressful. And just commit to this idea of listening to your breath, of keeping the inhale and the exhale nice and even and steady. knowing that as we sit here, as we move together, things are going to start to shift. Good. From here, blink your eyes open, and we're going to move into some cat-cow. You can keep the blocks if they're feeling good for now. If you've had enough, you can move them off to the side, but hands can press on your thighs. And then as you inhale, you're going to rock forward. Chest comes forward through the gates of your shoulders. Ooh, and then as you exhale, we go in the opposite direction. So finding that flexion of the spine, forward folding. Inhaling into extension, so more of a back bend situation. Exhale, rocking forward. And then just continue like this. You might keep your eyes closed here. Sometimes that can have this nice calming effect as well. And you're finding a pace with your breath that feels like just right for you today. It's that sweet little Goldilocks spot. Some days it feels good to move a little more. Other days we kind of feel the need to stretch things out. Enjoying this motion that's happening as you connect to movement with breath. You can continue moving like this, nice and simple. If you'd like to add one arm reaching forward on the inhale, so we start to just warm up the shoulder girdle a little bit. You're welcome to do that. And then opposite arm, the next cycle of breath. Pay attention to how your spine is starting to open up. So this cat-cow is really great for that. If you'd like to add both arms at the same time after you finish that left side, you can see how that feels in your body. Good. And then if you're doing opposite arms, you can just finish up with that left side. Let's come back to nice tall seat. So just finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose, a little mini check-in here. So notice how it feels to press down into those sit bones. And then as you're doing that, to lengthen through the sides of your waist. And maybe it's feeling like you're already sitting a little taller with just a little bit of movement here. As we exhale, let's go ahead and drop our chin towards our chest. Right away, the shoulders are going to want to get involved and help out. See if you can keep them releasing down your spine. Send your exhale to the back of your neck. Just visualize it creating a little space. And then let's keep the chin tucked here today, moving nice and slow. You're taking several breaths. you start to bring that right ear towards your right shoulder. But you might be pausing along the way, especially when things start to get interesting in that left side of your neck. In fact, you're going to kind of lean into those spots. You're going to hang out there. And you're going to observe if that left shoulder tries to help. Just remind it to stay releasing down your back. And then we're taking several breaths here. You're noticing how these scalene muscles, so those muscles on the side of your neck, are feeling on this left side. And they're usually quite tense relative to their size. They're working a lot, holding up the brain, the skull. Good. So keep the chin tucked, but then slowly start to turn your gaze towards that right shoulder. It might not get all the way there. So all of these little movements, they just shift where we're getting sensation. As you know, as we kind of move forward in different directions with our poses, if something isn't working, you can not do it, or you can go back, kind of just rewind the pose a little bit. All right, so from here, start to lift your chin, keep that left shoulder releasing down. Maybe here with that chin lifted, you can look a little further to the right. Couple more breaths. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale. Just come back to center. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale again, you drop your chin towards your chest. Encourage the shoulders to keep releasing down. Keep that breath smooth and steady. Observe if it feels like the back of the neck, the cervical spine is starting to open up a little bit. It might not be there yet. Chin stays tucked. We take plenty of time, several breaths, as you start to do that little quarter turn to the left. When you get to the spots where there's some, extra interesting sensation happening in your neck and in your shoulders, you hang out there and you give it a couple of breaths. You get curious about how this side feels different in your body. And keep that breath moving. So it's not uncommon when we're feeling some intensity in a pose, in a stretch, that we start to hold the breath. Sometimes we're not even aware that that's happened. Good. And then from here, so you're going to keep your head at that angle, but perhaps start to lift your chin so it's level with the floor. And then maybe You can rotate a little further still, maybe not. Sometimes we sleep weird, and that can affect the mobility that we have. So the important piece is to always be listening to your body on any given day and making wise choices. Good, nice deep inhale here. And then exhale. Just come back to center. So before we roll the shoulders out one more time, let's actually just release the arms by our sides. And we're going to do our little shoulder shrugs. So inhale, scrunch everything up, create some tension, and then let it go. So few of those just at your pace. These are good to do when you're watching YouTube or Netflix. Take a little mini break a few times during the day. And do them in the car at a stoplight. Okay, let's do one more. And then go ahead and roll those shoulders out. Nice work, everyone. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lose the blocks for now if you're working with them. You could certainly keep them, but if you've had enough, and just set them off to the side, and we will probably use them later. Finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose, so sitting nice and tall, arms releasing by your sides. And then let's inhale, take that left arm up and over, side bend to the right. Good, exhale, release that left arm down. Beautiful, inhale, right arm comes up and over. Exhale, release. And then you're going to continue like this, moving with your breath. So we all might be at a slightly different pace. You're letting this feel really good. You're taking up as much space as you can here. Feeling that stretch through the side body. It's kind of one of those really yummy ones. And just enjoying this simple little flow here, this rhythm that starts to happen as you move your body with your breath. Good. The next time you're leaning off to the right, let's hang out there. Maybe anchor a little more into that left sit bone. You can just imagine that you have a sandbag on that thigh, so it's giving you a little weight, a little gravity. Really reach through those left fingertips, so feel the elongation on this left side. Keep both shoulder blades releasing down so they're not creeping towards your ears, even in that arm, that left arm, which is extended. You might start to gaze up underneath that top arm. You might feel these right ribs rolling up ever so gently. And then let's do something a little different here today. So as you exhale, you're going to start to wrap your left ribs down. You can maybe even hold onto your chair or press into your thigh with your right hand. Continuing to reach through those left fingertips. And then start to hinge forward. You might release that right hand down. Come down the center. Back of the neck lengthens and releases. Just forward folding here. If you have those blocks by the side of you, hands could press there. That might feel really nice. So again, we are getting this flexion of the spine, this rounding of the spine. And you could go ahead and press into your blocks with your hands, or you could bring your hands to your shins or thighs. Let's find this extension of the spine. So our little Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Good. And then from here, press into your thighs, roll on up, release your arms down by your sides. And then we inhale, take that right arm up and over. Good, root into that right sit bone again. Just pretend that you have a sandbag draped over that leg. Find all of this lovely extension through the right side. Feel your shoulder blades releasing down towards your sit bones. Gentle little twisting of the left ribs up towards that right arm. And we've got a few breaths here. Inhaling through your nose. And exhaling through your nose. Does this side feel different in your body? Okay, so from here we're going to start to wrap those right ribs towards that left thigh. So it's kind of like we're reaching out at an angle. Couple breaths there. You can hold on to your chair or thigh with your left hand. And then start to fold in, release your left fingertips down, and then walk yourself to center. Back of the neck is lengthening and releasing. Chin is towards your chest. Breath is smooth and steady. And as you inhale, you can press your hands into your blocks or your shins or your thighs. Chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. And then hands to thighs, press yourself up to your seat. You might get a little head rush after that forward fold. Beautiful work. Release your arms by your sides. Good. So there's a little external rotation at the shoulder socket, so arms are kind of spinning out. That openness across your heart and chest. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Good, and then let's exhale, make a little cactus shape here. Deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Good, let's exhale, do a little press. So really activate the arms. It's like you're giving yourself a little resistance. Imagine that you're moving through like cement that's about to get really hard. Inhale, open up. Nice. Exhale, little twist to the left. Let's do one more set like that. Inhale, center. Exhale, you're giving yourself a little resistance as you press those forearms in towards each other. Good. Resistance as you open up. Feel that stretch across your chest, across those pectoral muscles. Exhale, twist right. Good. Inhale, back to center. Nice work, everyone. Exhale, find that little press. Inhale, find that opening up. Exhale, twist to the left. Good. Inhale, we come to center. Exhale, little press. My arms are feeling tired. Good. Inhale, open up. Good. Exhale, extend the arms to straight. Nice deep inhale here. Gather your shoulder blades in towards each other. And as you exhale, twist right. Deep inhale, stretch out, take up space. And then as you exhale, you release your hands down. This left hand is coming either to the right thigh. It could be on your left thigh. Shoulder blades are releasing down. Shoulder heads are pressing back. Left ribs are wrapping towards the right. Gaze moves towards your right shoulder. It might not get all the way there. Breath is smooth and steady. So let's stay in the twist. Give yourself a little leverage with that left hand. Keep pressing that left shoulder head back. Reach that right arm out at an angle, palm facing up. And then stay in the twist as you exhale. That right arm comes up and over. So like we're doing so many things here right now. We've got some twist. We've got some side extension. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that top arm. These look beautiful. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, start to untwist everything. You're going to give yourself a hug. Left arm comes underneath. And then gently lift the elbows. So we're going to do this without the extension and flexion in our spine. Just some shoulder flossing here. So deep inhale, maybe elbows lift, but the spine stays nice and neutral. And then exhale, release the elbows down. Good. Inhaling, lifting. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale for 4. Exhale, elbows release down. Inhale for 5. We hold here. If you wanted to, you could bring the backs of your hands together or palms to press. Maybe you can lift a little higher in that variation. Deep inhale here. Exhale, little twist to the right. Good. Inhale, come back to center. And then just take the arms up and out. Good. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. All right. So let's inhale, take the arms out and up. Good. So a little different this time. So you're reaching up and then you can make fists with your hands. Exhale, pull down. Good. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale. Good work. Inhale, press up. Again, kind of like you're moving through molasses. Exhale. Inhale, press up. Couple more. Exhale, pull down. Inhale up. All right, so we exhale, pull down here. Shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other. Inhale, stretch the arms out. Take an exhale. Full deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Reach out, take up space. So find your giant wingspan here. And then hands release down. So that right hand can be right thigh or left thigh. You're just looking for a little leverage to help you press your shoulder heads back. but wrap your right ribs to the left. Breath is smooth and steady. You move towards bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder. And then just keeping that leverage of right hand against right thigh or left thigh, wrapping right ribs to the left. Go ahead and stretch that left arm out at that angle, palm is facing up. Keep the twist, but then take that arm up and over. It's almost like a little reverse warrior feeling in the upper body. Notice if that left shoulder blade is creeping up towards your ear. Soften it down, even as you're reaching through those left fingertips. Couple more good breaths here. You might be gazing up underneath that top arm. All right, so as you exhale, start to unwind. You give yourself that hug as you come to center. Left elbow is on top of right. Keeping the spine nice and even. So we're not going for flexion and extension, but as we inhale, elbows lift. And then as we exhale, they release down. So it's more like isolated to that shoulder girdle. Little nerve flossing. These can be really good if you kind of have like a pinched nerve in your scapula. I think we've got a couple more here. On your next inhale, just lift those elbows and hold. And again, if you wanted to do another variation, backs of the hands press or palms press. Feel free. They're all good. They're all kind of targeting the same area. Little check-in with your breath again. And let's take a nice deep inhale here. And then exhale, twisting to the left. And we just take a few breaths like this. So it's not going to be your deepest twist, but the arms in this configuration are going to make you feel things a little differently. Might get a little more work. The backs of those shoulder blades, scapula area. Good. As you exhale, go ahead and come back to center. And then inhale. Take the arms out and up. Find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. But just take a couple of breaths here, maybe closing your eyes again. Checking in, noticing how you're feeling. Physically, what is shifting for you mentally, even emotionally? How is the breath different than when we started? Good, and then you can blink your eyes open here. Let's do a few rounds of our Ardha Surya Namaskars, our half sun salutes. So again, blocks can be great here. They can go on either side of your feet if you don't have them. Don't worry, not necessary. So coming into nice Tadasana mountain pose, feeling very strong and steady. As you inhale, arms can reach out and up. They could also reach forward and up. As you exhale, you can swan dive in, or you could take your hands to your thighs as you start to roll down, chin to chest again. So getting that a flexion of the spine. Inhale, this is where your hands might press to your shins or thighs. We've been in this position already today, or fingertips or palms on blocks. Exhale, fold back in. And then inhale, you can do that reverse swan dive out. You could slowly roll up. So many ways to come back into this extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands could come down the midline, or you could take the arms out and up. It all just kind of depends on like what's feeling good for you today. Inhaling, reaching up, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana. These look gorgeous. As you exhale, you fold in. Inhale, you lengthen forward. Exhale, we fold back in again. We root down to rise up, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you gaze up as your palms press overhead. And then as we exhale, hands come back to heart center. So we're going to do 3 more of these. If this is feeling like something you don't want to do today, you could return to your cat-cow. Otherwise, you are moving with your breath. And I want you to be like very mindful to take up space and to enjoy how these postures that we're moving through feel. Maybe today we dedicate these to spring. Kind of the hopefulness and the joy that that brings, the lightness. It's like a rebirth of nature. Good. When you are done with that 3rd round, and there's absolutely no rush, you're just pausing with your palms together at your heart, eyes closed. Good. Gently blink your eyes open, release your hands down. All right, so I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work. Spring makes me think about trees because they're about to get real pretty. So let's play with a little tree pose. I'm making this up as I go. It may or may not work. All right, so you're finding a nice Tadasana mountain pose. You might stay here like this. Perhaps you start to roll a little bit to the outer edge of your right foot. So that knee is sort of just opening up. So you're just finding a little external rotation. If this variation of rolling onto the outer edge of your foot doesn't work, you could simply open the leg up as well. That would also fit the bill. So you could stay here like this. So in our tree pose, Classically, we have one leg in external rotation. It's a balance pose, so we're just on one foot. The leg that's standing is neutral. So this left leg is neutral right now. If you wanted to extend that leg to straight, kind of like a crescent pose or a warrior one pose, that would also work. In our tree pose, foot and shin are usually pressing against each other. So I want you to kind of find that idea. So it's like everything is squeezing into the midline. You can especially probably find that with your outer hips. In fact, if you want to take your hands there and kind of press in, as you do that, maybe you pull the lower belly in and up, and maybe it feels like you lengthen through the sides of your waist a little more. Let's release the arms down by our sides. Notice if you've started to roll back a little bit. That's actually not a bad variation too. That's sort of like a way to get into core. We're not going to do that right now. So your shoulders are over your hips. Inhale. Start to reach those branches up. And let's keep them hands a little wider than shoulders distance apart here. Gaze is soft and gentle in front of you. Breath is smooth and steady. And then if you wanted to start to lift your gaze up, you're welcome to do so. Maybe you bring your arms a little closer. That's going to be dictated by shoulder flexibility. Can you continue to look up? I want you to imagine that somebody is holding your right wrist here. You can bring your index and pointer finger together in your left hand. So this just sort of challenges balance here. You're going to start to extend that left arm off to the left. But as you do that, you're tracking with your gaze. And if you ever feel dizzy or like you're going to fall over, you just bring your gaze forward. Good. And then we're practically here. So let's just tilt our tree a little bit. So side bending to the left. You might even gaze up underneath that top arm. You all are making this look so good. You have fulfilled my vision of tree pose. Thank you. All right, so if you want a little core here, maybe start to lift that left arm back up. Think outer hip squeezing in. As you upright yourself, a new pose is born. Exhale, release your hands down. Lovely. So if that left leg is extended to straight, bend the knee, and then you're either walking your right leg back in or rolling to the inner edge of your foot. We find our Tadasana, our mountain pose, and we take that to the second side. So again, you can always just stay here. This is like the blueprint. This works for any position, especially if you're newer to yoga and you're watching this on YouTube. All right, if you want to play with finding a little external rotation, that's the idea. We're getting that external rotation in the upper thigh, so that works. If you liked that variation, kind of rolling to the outer edge of the left foot, you can play with that too. And then the final piece here might be to extend that right leg to straight. So right leg is neutral, left leg is external. And then again, let's bring our hands to our hips and squeeze everything in, engage those glutes. Maybe you start to lengthen a little more through the sides of your waist. Let's inhale, take the arms out and up. So nice. Shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other as they release towards your sit bones, your roots. Maybe you start to shine your heart to the heavens. Imagine that you're in a beautiful northwest forest. God is close. Really nice. So let's bring the arms a little closer. Imagine that somebody is holding you by your left wrist. So you're getting all of that length. You might bring your thumb and index finger together in your right hand. And then you're going to start to extend that right arm off to the side, tracking with your gaze. Good. And then let's lean this over to the right. As trees love a breeze. You might be looking up underneath that top arm. Really grounding into that right sit bone here. It's keeping you anchored and steady. And then if you would like, kind of lift that right arm up a little bit, like you're holding a beach ball. Outer hip squeeze in as you upright yourself. So pretty. As you exhale, release your hands down. Right leg is extended. Go ahead and bend that knee. Bringing left leg back. So finding our Tadasana, our mountain pose. We're going to move into some breath work here. So allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. A full, complete exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on your own. You can speed it up, you can slow it down. If this box breath, this 4-part breathing isn't working for you today, you could simply sit quietly. Do another round or two. As you feel complete, you're going to just make your way into Final resting pose. Most of us are going to stay exactly where we're at, but the feeling tone is going to be a little different. That being said, you're always welcome to take a forward fold. Maybe come to a classic Shavasana on the floor. Any pose that helps you sort of drop inward, to relax, to let go. And giving our brain and our body this opportunity to assimilate this work that we've done together this past hour. And also just soaking up these final quiet moments. Really melt in and enjoy this. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh, and let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. And then start to bring some gentle movement back to your body, whatever that looks like, whatever feels good here. We'll eventually land with our hands in a pile on top of our heart. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort. Let's send each other love and gratitude for the support, for the camaraderie. Finally, just promise yourself that you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the week ahead, into the spring season ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, everybody. So good to see you as always. Thank you.